Hello and welcome back to part 3 of what to do if you're planning a trip to Pigeon Forge or Gatlinburg, Tennessee. On this episode, we're going to be talking about nature and wildlife spots that we like to go to. Eastern Tennessee in general, as a whole, in my opinion, is a beautiful place, especially if you go in the fall, if you go in the winter. At any time of the year, it's beautiful. You have the mountains in the back, you have the trees, you have the Great Smoky Mountains, like the rock formations like on the highway right next to you. You have the rivers and the streams and the creeks. Just everywhere you look, it's beautiful. Like the hiking trails are gorgeous, especially when the air is like nice and cool and crisp. Te dan ganas de estar afuera. You feel like being outside. Some of our favorite spots to go to, I put on this list. But again, like I told you, anytime that you're driving anywhere, the route is scenic. So you might say, oh my goodness, like she told me to go to this restaurant in Alcoa and it's, a bit of a drive. The drive is going to be beautiful. So enjoy it. Spot number 1 on my list is Cades Cove. Every time we go, my husband already knows it's a guarantee we're going to Cades Cove, and cuidado, because we might go twice on the trip. Cades Cove is a scenic loop. It's a one-way loop. You drive around and you can spot deer, elk, bears, coyotes. Vaya, and depending on when you go, you see different animals. It does close at sundown. This one is not open 24 hours or anything like that. It does close at sundown. But on our trips to Cades Cove, we've seen deer, bears, coyotes. I haven't seen an elk, but that's like my dream to see an elk. That's the last one on my list. But you do get to get up close and personal with the wildlife. Stay back. Don't get close to them, but you do get to get pretty close to them. Also, there are little cabins. There's a lot of history. There's like old churches. There's cemeteries. You can see the history of the people that used to live there. Like it'll tell you the name of the family that used to live in that specific cabin. It's very eye-opening. It's very educational, especially if you're like a homeschool family. And even if you're not a homeschool family, take your kids because it's a very good educational spot. And you also get like that nature feel. They also do camping there, FYI, in Cades Cove. So if camping's your thing, look into it because it's beautiful. The second trail that we like to take is also in my Tennessee playlist video. We went this last time. It was the first time that we were able to go because they do close for the winter season. It's Roaring Fork Motor Trail. That one is in Gatlinburg. And again, it's a one-way scenic motor trail. You go in your car and it's super nice. We saw 2 bears there. It's just beautiful. That one though, it is more narrow. Go watch my video. RVs cannot go through there. It is more narrow. The street is a little bit steep, which is why they close it in the winter because it's not safe. But if you go like on a regular day, like we went in the fall, you'll be fine. It's beautiful. Especially, I highly recommend that you go at golden hour because when you get to the top, the sight of that sunset is beautiful. Speaking of when you get to the top, if you get a chance to go when it's not winter to Eastern Tennessee, go to Klingman's Dome, which they changed the name now. It starts with a K. I'm not going to try to pronounce it because I will butcher it. But it's formerly known as Klingman's Dome, which is the highest point in the Great Smoky Mountains. I did a video on it. It's in my Tennessee playlist. When you're done with this video, go over there and you'll see everything that I'm talking about. Klingman's Dome is the highest point in the Great Smoky Mountains. Go up there. You get to see the observation tower. You do have to hike. It's an uphill hike. Go watch my video. It's an uphill hike. It's half a mile up to the observation tower. You get to the top and you get to overlook 2 states. You see Tennessee, you see North Carolina. Highly recommend that you do it. There were children on the trail. My son did it. There were older people on the trail. If you need like a walking stick or a hiking stick, almost all of like the elderly people had it, but they were up there with me. Like they were hiking. There's a lot of places to sit and take a break if you need it, but I highly recommend that you do it because it is beautiful up there. All these nature spots that I'm talking about do go into like the National Park, Great Smoky Mountains National Park website and check if they're closed because as we were leaving Klingman's Dome, even though it wasn't winter and it was supposed to be open, they closed it because of high winds. High winds were coming in like during the evening, so they closed down the gate. So before you make the drive all the way up there, just make sure that it's open. Also, in Cades Cove, in Roaring Fork, and in Clingman's Dome, there's no cell phone service. So if you want to listen to music, download the music before. If you need to send any text messages or make any calls, do it before you get in there because there's no service. Another one of our favorite spots, it's like a sightseeing spot and it's just like you gotta go there. It's Newfound Gap. So Newfound Gap, you basically like drive up to it. It says Newfound Gap. It's a parking lot, right? The Appalachian Trail runs through that. It also runs through Clingman's Dome. And you get to see the state line. You get to see the Tennessee, North Carolina state line. It's a photo op. It's beautiful. It's not as high as Clingman's Dome, but if you go to Tennessee and you're not able to do it because it's closed, you can do Newfound Gap and you can see the state line. And by the way, the drive up there when it's cold, look to the sides because sometimes there's snow up there. Like it won't snow, let's say in Gatlinburg, down in the city, in the town, but it'll snow in Newfound Gap. It's happened to us. So we drove up there and we played in the snow. As you're going through the tunnel, you see the icicles. While you're driving, you have like the mountain formation next to you and you see the icicles coming down. It's gorgeous. Heads up, like I said, it snows up there sometimes and it doesn't reach the town. So if you're planning a trip to Newfound Gap or Clingman's Dome, layer up because it's colder up there than it is in Gatlinburg and Pigeon Forge. Another place that we love to go to, which Newfound Gap is within it and so is Clingman's Dome, is just driving through the Great Smoky Mountains National Park. Just drive through it. There's hiking trails. There's places where you can just pull over or park and take pictures right by the rivers, right by the mountain. Just go check it out. It's beautiful. Again, no cell phone service. And the last place for nature and wildlife and all that is Foothills Parkway. It's just a road that you take. Go to Foothills Parkway. It's a scenic drive. You're gonna love it. If you have some time to kill and you just want to get out and roll the windows down and feel the crisp air and take a nice drive through Tennessee, I highly recommend Foothills Parkway. Acuérdense de mí. I will say, if you do get car sick, it's very windy. So Simba's not a fan, my dog. He gets car sick on the winding roads and so does my mom. But if you are okay with the winding roads, then don't miss out on it. All right, guys, I think that concludes my Eastern Tennessee series. Let me know if there were any places that I missed. I'm sure there's a ton that I missed. Every time that we go to Tennessee, we discover new places and new spots and we fall in love with the state all over again. I am, a Miamian, true Floridian, born and raised, but Tennessee gets me every single time.